Okay, that was great. Thank you guys for being so enthusiastic. Hi. You guys, Wednesday nights are kind of weird because I lead worship and then I come out here and I do, and I talk to you guys, talk at you guys a little bit. But sometimes it's hard to get out of the headspace of worship, especially when someone's having an experience in worship, and you kind of don't want it to end. You know, you want to keep it going. But yeah, I'm gonna do this. My brain is still singing that song. My voice probably can't sing it anymore, but my brain is still singing it. So I'm gonna talk to you guys a little bit. So I want to talk to you guys about being content versus being complacent. And it's because this is something that I've been studying for my own life. As you guys know, I like to talk to you guys about things that I personally look into for myself, because it's things I need to work on, or it's things I need to know more about. And so I want to talk about it with you guys. So what's the difference between being content and being complacent? Content is dealing with it? Okay. So contentment means a peaceful happiness. And some words like satisfied, pleased, fulfilled, or happy. And then complacent says showing smug or uncritical satisfaction with oneself or one's achievements. And some words for that are self-satisfied, proud, and lazy. The opposite of complacent, as it says on dictionary.com, is humble, with an H, humble. That's the opposite of being complacent, so kind of get that in your brain. So what does it mean to be content, do you guys think? Does it mean that you're content, you sit back and you never want anything better and you never do anything again? No, what's that more like? Complacent. Thank you, Sister Denise. So when you're content, that doesn't mean that you're just sitting there and you're just letting life be thrown at you and you never do anything about it. No, that's being complacent. When we get complacent with our situations and with ourselves, we sometimes stop trying to become better. We sometimes stop trying to do more, to be better, to do better. When we get complacent with our walk with God, we sometimes stop trying to get to know Him better. We sometimes stop reading our Bibles every day. We sometimes stop praying at all. And we sometimes stop even trying to walk with Him the way that we're supposed to. On the other hand, we have contentment. So what happens when we are content with our position in life? What happens when we're content with our walk with God? We're at peace. Does it mean that we just sit back and let things be thrown at us left and right and do nothing? Does it mean that we stop trying? That we stop trying to be better and to do more? To me, being content in these situations is just a different outlook than being complacent. So one word used to describe contentment is satisfied. And a word used to describe complacency is self-satisfied. So what's the obvious difference between those two things, satisfied and self-satisfied? Self. Thank you. So when we're satisfied with our lives and we're satisfied with our Christianity, to me that means that we're satisfied, but we're conscious of who is holding us in that position, of who has helped us get to that position. We're satisfied with where we're at, but we understand that we're not solely responsible for that satisfaction. Right. Complacency is the opposite of that. So being self-satisfied means we give ourselves the credit for our position in life. That's good. Being self-satisfied means that we think we can do it all on our own. Right. Maybe we think we did it all on our own. That's why when we're complacent, we're not usually trying to be better or different people. Because, hey, I'm the person that got me to this position and I like where I'm at. So clearly I'm the best I could possibly be. I did a great job. We're not trying to be better because we think we're already the best, you know? That's good. But what if we're not complacent and we're not content either? What happens if We know we can't do everything on our own, and we know we need to rely on God, but we're also not satisfied. We're not happy with where we're stationed or where we're at. What happens when we look around at everyone else and think, why is my life not as far along as theirs? Can we possibly be content when we're constantly comparing our lives to those around us? Is that possible? It's especially hard now, and for you guys, teenagers, because we're always able to see other people's lives now, right? We can see what people are doing constantly. They post about it constantly. Social media has made it really hard to push that comparison aside. And we're always comparing our lives to theirs, whether we know it or not. You can be on Facebook for 5 minutes and already feel some discontentment with your own life. Somebody's on vacation in Hawaii, you're upset because you've never been to Hawaii. You're jealous, you need to get there, right? You're already discontent with where you're at. For me, recently, this is personal experience, the big comparison that I've been doing these past few weeks is with my friends who are also student teaching. So I'm student teaching and I have friends, and we're always talking about what we're doing, and we always share stories like what's been going on, what we've been doing in class, and I always feel like I'm behind. For example, the other day one of my friends was teaching whole classes and I hadn't even taught a lesson yet. And I was like, well, I'm a failure, obviously, at student teaching. I can't even do student teaching right. Simply because she had some experience that I hadn't gotten to yet. Did that mean I was never going to get to that experience? No, it means I'm a different person on a different path. But when you look at it in a way that makes it seem like you're falling behind or you're not as good or you'll never be as good, you can't be content in that. Philippians 4:10 through 13. Let's read that. It says, "How I praise the Lord that you are concerned about me again. I know you have always been concerned for me, but you didn't have the chance to help me. Not that I was ever in need, for I have learned how to be content with whatever I have. I know how to live on almost nothing or with everything. I have learned the secret of living in every situation, whether it is with a full stomach or empty, with plenty or little, for I can do everything through Christ who gives me strength." I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength, another version. That's how we're supposed to live, right? We're supposed to live in that contentment where we know who has us, we know who has our back, we know God has our back, and we know that we shouldn't be worried about where we can take ourselves, because we know if we're walking with God and we're walking in His plan that we're going to get to where we need to go. That's the contentment that we should live in, but it's way easier said than done. In this time of comparison, sometimes it's hard to see your own worth and your own talents. Sometimes it's easy to maybe watch someone's video of them singing a song they put on Facebook and think, well, they're so good, I must be horrible. Just me? Okay. Sometimes it seems like others are being preferred to you, like they're being preferred over you. Someone likes them better. Someone gives them opportunities they don't give you. Right. Someone always wants to be with them and they don't ever want to be with you. You're never the first choice. No one else has these thoughts? All the time? Me too. Sometimes it feels like you're always going to be left behind. Yeah. I don't know about you guys, and I don't know if I inherited this from my father, but he always says that he feels 10 years behind. And I feel that way too. Maybe not 10 years, because I don't really feel 13. I feel more like maybe 18. How many years is that? 5? Okay, so I feel like I'm 5 years behind. But yeah, I feel like that all the time, and that's no way to live your life. You can't be worried about where everybody else is going or where everybody else has been or what everybody else is doing and get your stuff done, can you? No, and maybe that's why I feel so far behind, because I do worry about those things. Instead of stepping out and doing what I'm supposed to do, I'm looking at everybody else and I'm saying, why can't I do that? Why can't I be like them? Why can't I be outgoing and an extrovert and not get tired after I talk to 2 people? Why? Instead of practicing and getting better at talking to people and things like that. Instead of doing those things, I just get down on myself and I say, well, I guess it's never going to happen. Poor me. And that's no way to live. You can't do that. You're never going to go anywhere if you don't go anywhere, right? You can watch everybody else walk past you, but you're standing still because you're watching them walk past you. When you're worried about yourself and your walk with God and you are constantly seeking God to know Him better and to know what He wants you to do and you're constantly reading your Bible and you're praying and you're doing what you think is right, you're going forward. Even if you feel like you're standing still, you're going forward. If you're doing something, you're going forward. Sometimes it feels like maybe you're just not the chosen one. You're just not good enough for whatever you want to do. But Jeremiah 1:5 says, I knew you before I formed you in your mother's womb. Before you were born, I set you apart and appointed you as my prophet to the nations. And I know he's talking to Jeremiah, but he's speaking to us too. If he knew Jeremiah before he was formed, he knew us before we were formed. He knew what we were going to do and who we were going to be and what our strengths were going to be and what our weaknesses were going to be and the path we were going to go on. We might not be able to fully stop comparing ourselves to others. We might not be able to not become complacent. There are times when everybody gets complacent in some area of your life, complacent or lazy or whatever you want to say. But personally, we can all make a conscious effort every single day to remember who we are in God's eyes, to remember what we're supposed to do so that we can strive for that. If we remember we're supposed to be content with where we are and with what God has done for us, and if we remember that God is never going to leave us, then it makes it a little bit easier to step out and do those things that we're afraid of. It makes it a little bit easier to stop watching people do the scary things that you're not sure if you can do and do them yourself. God knew each of us before we were ever a thought on this earth. We don't have to compare ourselves to each other because we all started in the same place. We don't walk the same walk and we won't face the same challenges or successes, but we can all learn to be content with who we are in God's eyes, with who God is. And I think that's really what's being said in Philippians when he says, I know how to live on almost nothing or with everything. I have learned the secret of living in every situation, whether it is with a full stomach or empty, with plenty or little. For I can do everything through Christ who gives me strength. If you know that your strength is not enough, but God's is, you can be content wherever you are. That's all you need, right? That's what he's telling us in the Bible. And like I said, it's way easier said than done. But we can make a conscious effort every single day to say, oh, I wish I were them, and then say, no, you don't. You do you. You're right here. This is what you're supposed to do. You do it. Don't look at them. Right? And we should share in each other's successes instead of being jealous, maybe, of what someone else is doing. We should want to congratulate each other. Even if someone got that job you wanted, or they're better at it than you are, so they got promoted. Or maybe you want to sing and you're really not a good singer. You really wanted to sing. Someone else is getting to sing up here and you're not. We should celebrate each other's strengths and help each other in our weaknesses. That's what we're here for. That's what God's there for. Like, God is there to help you in your weaknesses. He's not, you're going to be tested in your weaknesses probably. That's what I'm doing all the time up here. Being tested in my weaknesses, talking in front of people. I used to be really, really, really scared of leading worship. Actually, I was terrified of playing the piano while someone else sang. I wasn't even singing. I was terrified. And slowly but surely, I was put into a position where I had to step up. And when I look back on that, I'm like, I didn't just get thrown in that position. I was being prepared for that for years. And things like that are cool when you can look back on that. I started off playing piano with Cody, not singing, and then he was like, "Will you sing this one song?" And I was like, "Okay." So I started singing one song, and then 2 songs, and then 3 songs, and then I could lead. I could do it. figured it out. God helped me through it. God prepared me for that because that's where I'm supposed to be right now. So it is time to go, but I want to leave you with this. Sometimes you're going to be complacent in something. You're going to get lazy in your walk with God. You're going to say, "Oh, I just want to go to sleep. I don't want to take this extra 15 minutes to read my Bible before bed, or I don't want to take an extra 20 minutes in the morning to read my Bible." But that's the start of us losing where we're supposed to go, right? It starts small like that. So every single day we need to make a conscious effort to say, I'm going to do what I need to do, what God tells me I need to do to move forward. And you will move forward. And you'll learn that contentment. I hope I will learn that contentment. I'm trying. But yeah, it's just a conscious effort. Every single day we have to make that decision. So I hope you guys will. Thank you. That's all I have for tonight. And it is 7:32, so it's time.